Good evening from the newsroom. The news for this Thursday, 7th of March. The International Mail and Cargo Processing Center will be built on Zone 21 near the airport instead of at the existing cargo terminal as proposed previously. Vice President Ahmed Afif said that the project will cost around 5 million rupees and is expected to start this year if all goes well. This was a subject that was discussed in the cabinet meeting yesterday.
It's been agreed that it should not be at the current cargo center because it is tight as it is today. Putting up a new infrastructure will not help in bringing greater efficiency. It will be a new and additional revenue for the postal services because it brings additional business which did not come here before, and that is a redistribution facility, particularly for courier, where because of the strategic location of Seychelles and the existing routes and connections that Seychelles offers to Dubai, Addis, and Nairobi, this offers excellent potential for courier redistribution through a hub in the Seychelles.
The Cabinet of Ministers has approved for the setting up of a government scholarship scheme for Seychellois students from Pralin and La Digue to undertake their A-level studies at the Vijay International School on Pralin. They have to come to Mahe now, which is the sole option. In their meeting yesterday, the Cabinet also approved that there be some changes to the land transport policy on La Digue, which would involve the demarcation, naming and proclamation of roads on the islands, as is the case on Mahe and Pralin.
This is a necessity for many reasons, including insurance and police enforcement of activities on the road on La Digue. So this will be work that will be undertaken by SLTA as well as the Department of Transport and in consultation with the people on La Digue to demarcate the roads and eventually name them. They've also spoken about electric bicycles on La Digue, where the government feels the policy needs to be maintained and that the maximum power of these bicycles must be kept at 300 watts, and that all children all persons under the age of 16 must not ride these bikes. Why 16? Because 16 is the age at which you can get the license for a motorbike. And with a battery, it is to some extent motorized. So the other policy decision was that children under 14 riding any bike have to wear a helmet. We've also said that buggies, which are on La Digue, there was a policy on replacement and repairs to buggies, and what has been agreed is that if you have a buggy and a permit for a buggy on La Digue today, you can replace that buggy and apply to replace it. So the existing one will be shipped out and you can have another one to replace it, or you can have the buggy to be sent for repairs and brought back and retain a permit. So that's the change, whereas the previous policy did not allow you to replace your buggy or to send the buggy out for repairs because it was deemed that the intention was to reduce the total number of buggies on La Digue.
The Seychelles Revenue Commission has launched a dedicated lodgement program to enable taxpayers and businesses to settle their annual taxes for the applicable year 2023 before or on the 31st of this month. That is the deadline for lodgement and payment of annual taxes. The Director for Taxpayers Education and Service Delivery, Cheryl Barra, says the program is necessary as March is one of the busiest periods for the Seychelles Revenue Commission. The program will run from the 12th to the 26th of this month in several regions and places on Mahe.
The program will start from Tuesday, 12th March, and will target different segments of taxpayers. This process is to alleviate the peak periods nearing the deadline date at the SRC premises based in Maison Colette, Providence, and also twice per month at the Ensoyal PUC customer service. We are urging taxpayers to make use of the lodgement program, even if it's target-based. We also welcome any other taxpayers that are within the presumptive tax bracket, that is, their earnings of total revenue is below 1 million rupees, to use these facilities to settle and lodge their taxes early.
A concerned citizen, Jana Janosevich, introduced a draft private bill to members of the National Assembly during a seminar yesterday based on research about artificial intelligence. There were 3 presentations by DICT, the University of Seychelles, and Ms. Janosevich herself. They talked about the definition of AI and its components, how the government can incorporate with policies that will govern the use of AI, be aware of its danger and benefits that AI can bring. The National Assembly recognizes the need for them to take part in such discussions and take ownership of social issues with widespread impact, such as the development of AI. Ms. Janosevich explains the draft of the private bill and the development of the AI.
I have been following the news on various technological developments around the world, particularly AI, transhumanist technologies, and so on. And I believe we have come to a point of time in our civilization where many of these technologies can surpass human intelligence and human abilities. And that can lead to us feeling obsolete, redundant in society, that technology takes away our jobs, that we feel that, we are sort of, there's a divide between us and certain government services, that we always have to be online, that we have to have smartphones, that we have to have internet. So I thought, well, let's think about how we can protect human beings, how we can protect our people from being technologically saturated, from being forced to use certain technologies. And this bill is called pro-human, so that it allows for the innovations that technologies can bring. I am not a technophobe, so it allows for technological innovation, but it also says, hang on, stop right now in certain areas, humans first.
Leaf beetles, these insects which are attacking the leaves of the golden apple or fristae plants, have been observed in a 20th district. Most of these infestations are in the northern and central regions of Mahé. The Department of Agriculture says it is still fighting the pest, and to be able to continue to work on its elimination, the department has joined forces with its partners in the private sector to work on ways to eliminate them. The awareness campaign for the elderly and disabled people continues, and the latest was at the Les Mamelles Community Center. The awareness is all about implementing the facilities and accessibilities for the elderly and the disabled people. There have been opinions shared and concerns raised, which the relevant authorities have taken into account.
The Rempa Prize Up Association, along with the Elderly and Disabled Division, is continuously working together with the awareness campaign for the elderly and disabled in our society. This awareness is to improve better access to services and facilities for the disabled and elderly. Certain ideas were raised by the representatives for the elderly and disabled of their concerns and what accessibilities have been implementing so far. The ideas and plan they have discussed about and to be implemented were shown by the engineers and architects from different departments from public and private sectors. The founder of Rempa Prize Up, Christian Winslow, stated that after the wheelchair challenge last year, they have been working in collaboration with the Ministry of Lands and Housing, Seychelles Infrastructure Agency, and they have been in contact with the Ministry of Transport as well. And she also added that they are emphasizing more on the accessibility and facilities for the elderly and disabled person.
A lot of buildings are designed with forgetting ramps, the correct size doorways. So we're working together today to share concerns, suggestions from the disabled side. And we're actually very excited that infrastructure and planning have come together to help work as a team.
On his side, the Chief Executive Officer of Seychelles Infrastructure Agency, Jitesh Shah, said that they have been liaising with the campaign itself and the Department for the Disabled and Elderly as well, and they are heavily involved in the implementation of national projects and to improve accessibility to a lot of our current infrastructure.
So we are working quite closely with them to see what are some of the challenges that people are facing today. How is it that we can improve on the works that we are doing? Explain a little bit what it is that we are currently doing already. And then more than anything, just provide some overall support to the event, just to engage a little bit more with the campaign itself and with the people that they're bringing in today, people who have certain disabilities, for us to see how we can collaboratively work together to create a more accessible environment for people in Seychelles. We have been discussing, it's an ongoing process, obviously. It's a continuous learning process from our side as well. But the whole point of the workshop was to just try and give it a little bit more visibility and actually maybe start coming up with certain things that are a bit tangible, give a brief overview on what it is that they have been working on, and also see if there are other areas where perhaps they need to put a bit more emphasis on certain specific parts of accessibility that perhaps they had not considered or it was not being given enough emphasis already in what they're working on currently.
And with this, we end this news summary. We'll be back at 8 with the news in Creole. Have a very pleasant evening.